to the Hard Knocks Prize 135-pound weight division, and is brought to you by Boston Pizza. And now, let's meet the fighters. First, welcome, Tyrone Halkett.
Tyrone Halkett comes down to the cage, just 16 years old, making his amateur debut in the 125-pound weight class out of La Ronge, Saskatchewan, and says, Jeremy, he trains part-time with the LA Warriors out of La Ronge, but hasn't joined up yet, and is maybe looking at this fight as a way to gain some experience so he finds out what he needs to work on with his coaches before paying to work on them.
His opponent, Travis Favel.
Now Travis Favel, not certainly making his debut, comes in at 0-3, weighed in at 131 pounds, says he needed to take training more seriously after coming out and starting with 3 consecutive losses.
Yeah, but you look at, and that's a great thing for an amateur fighter to come forward and decide to say, it's one of those things there, as he moves forward and he decides that it's something that he really wants to do as a serious activity, you want to train with it as much as possible. His last fight was at 125, and he's going to be moving to 135 in future fights.
Yeah, weighed in last night at 131 pounds, accepted by Halkett, and like you said, Jeremy, moving to 135 because 125 proving to be too tough a cut, and also felt that the cut was leaving him without any energy, which led to him being taken down too easily, and once he got down to the ground, that was all she wrote for the fighter out of the Poundmaker Fight Club in Payton, Saskatchewan.
Yeah, and for those of you who have never done a weight cut, it is exhausting. You don't really feel it necessarily as you're cutting the weight, but the next morning you just feel as if you're the most tired physically that you've ever been. And a lot of fighters cut down significant weight, and you have to train your body to cut that weight. You'll see a lot of fighters to train for weight cuts will sit in the sauna, will get that sauna suit on a couple months in advance of a fight, so that when they do that weight cut, it's something that their body is used to, and so that they can recover quickly as possible. One of those things that it's in the sport that if everybody just fought at the weight that they fought at, then it would be the same as everybody cutting down 20 pounds or 15 pounds to get down to the weight class. But there's always that time where somebody fights at the weight and somebody's cut down 15 pounds. And at a weight of 125, that makes such a big difference. That's a large percentage of weight difference between two athletes.
When you talk about guys like Brock Lesnar cutting 20 pounds before his fights.
The official Hard Knocks Fighter introduction. First, in the Power Dodge blue corner, making his debut at 124.5 pounds, fighting as an independent from La Ronge, Saskatchewan. Please welcome Hard Knocks fighter, Tyrone Halkett. And in the Boston Pizza red corner, with a record of 0-3, he weighed in at 132 pounds, fighting out of Poundmaker Fight Club in Payton, Saskatchewan. Please welcome Hard Knocks fighter, Travis Favel. The referee in charge of the Hard Knocks action is Elvis Lyon.
Elvis Lyon prowling his way to the center of the cage as we get set for this fight at 125 pounds, as Travis Favel in the red and black shorts takes on Tyrone Halkett in the red, or in the white shorts with red trim. Also the red mohawk on Favel to help you tell them apart.
Some good striking here from Favel, but he needs to bring his hands back to him as he's throwing out the second hand. His first hand hasn't retreated back to his chin. Can leave him open for counterpunching, and some nice kicks here, trying to step forward. Good work here by Halkett as he's sprawling down, controlling that front head and arm position. You'll look to possibly get a guillotine here, but coming up for the single is Favel, and looking to finish. Needs to get his head and shoulders up, though.
Favel trying to push his way through and secure the takedown. Halkett on the top for the moment, and up now against the cage as Favel continues to try and push through. A knee there to the leg of Halkett again, trying to soften up that leg tissue so that it makes a takedown easier, takes away a bit of the power base.
Yeah, you always want to attack that power base in those legs. The legs is what hold you up. Legs is what really does the damage on a punch, is that turning of the hips. And as you take away those hips and take away the legs and the big muscles in the legs, that's going to set you up for success later on. And that's why you see leg kicks and kicks to the thigh. It's not going to end a fight, but it will definitely do some damage moving forward.
Bit of a wrestling match here in the early going. Not much landed in the way of strikes, although Favel now making a liar out of me as he drives a couple knees into the thigh of Halkett up against the cage.
Yeah, and Favel will want to finish this one, and there he goes there, trying to get across. He ends up inside, but then gets mounted. Very good body positioning by Tyrone Halkett. And he postures up really high and gets swept over, and a triangle there now, and trying to finish him off here. Has to get that arm extended though.
Yeah, at the moment might be trying to flip over and try and find the arm for an arm bar. At the moment, Favel has just the one arm trapped between Halkett's legs. You can see him holding on so as to not get arm barred, and you gotta wonder if Halkett's gonna try and flip this around and find himself with that armbar submission. Looks like he let it go and in favor of side control.
Side control is a nice dominant position for somebody who, if they have a wrestling background where wrestlers are used to holding guys on their back in this situation. And so this is a good place if he's got some wrestling experience. 10 seconds remaining now as you hear the clap in the background.
And lots of punches coming there from Halkett as he's got Favel almost crucifixed there for a short time to finish round number one, kind of putting the finishing touches on what was a solid round from Halkett. May have stole the round with a late furious for the majority of the first round. It was Favel with Halkett up against the cage, landing strikes to the legs and secured the takedown. So it could be interesting to see how the judges go on this one.
Yeah, the other side of it is this was a round that very much the judges were waiting for something to happen. In a judge's mind, it's give me a reason to give you the round. I think it is at that point. And the cage control by Favel was not bad, but there was no real damage being done. These strikes from this position with your back bent like that isn't going to do too much damage. And the takedown was nice, but instantly very well done. Good body position by Halkett as he ended up on top, as we see right here. Realized that he was being taken down and tried to adjust on the way and gets this nice mount, and he transitioned to several different submission attempts and some nice striking.
So just about underway for round number two here in our 8th fight of the night on the Hard Knocks 21 card from the Spectra Center in Estevan, Saskatchewan. Favel in the black and red trunks, white and red for Halkett.
Oh, right in the mummy daddy button there. That we can feel that one cage side.
Yeah, that not a pretty place to be kicked, and hopefully we won't get a replay on that one. I know on the some of the bigger promotions insist on showing that as a replay when it happens, but here at Hard Knocks, we'll just let the guy recover. Hopefully he'll be able to take his time. We've talked about this several times in the past, Jeremy. Guys not taking their time when it comes to these blows and trying to prove how manly they are by returning quickly, often to their detriment.
Kids, take your time. Anybody watching this and wants to get into MMA, kid, adult, it doesn't matter. Take your time when you get hit in the illegal areas. The reason that you take your time is because your body goes into trauma. And of course, just as we're talking about taking his time, Halkett is back and ready to go. This has changed fights in the past. An illegal blow, this is at all levels. You look at UFC, an illegal knee to a head in a down position has changed a fight because it affects a fighter. Good takedown defense here by Halkett as he continues to go, and then he ends up on top again. Excellent job of wrestling there.
doing a superb job of staying on top, especially like you mentioned, Jeremy, in the earlier takedown, found himself on top. Now another takedown where he's finding himself on top. It's whether or not he can make this position work for him, and he may get caught in a triangle here. That seems to be what Favel's going for, as that guard works higher and higher, and now slipping the guard and landing a nice right hand is Halkett.
Yeah, Favel needs to learn a little bit more on setting him up. You can't go straight for something. People are going to see it coming a mile away, especially if you've got a couple training partners that are used to putting triangles on you. If you set it up by attacking from the bottom or maybe shifting your hips and then going, much more effective way. And right now, Favel's paying the price as Halkett is raining some bombs down on him right now.
And Halkett content to let Favel spin around underneath him as long as it opens him up for another punch like it did a moment ago. Now posturing up and popping up and taking a kick for good measure on the way back in. But he'll be looking to pass by, and no, just decides that
Elvis Line should step in, and there he goes.
Yeah. So the referee steps in and stands them back up. We are back on the feet here as Tyrone Halkett and Travis Favel go head-to-head, both of them looking for their first win in their amateur career. Of course, this is the amateur debut for Halkett.
Well, Favel's throwing from his hip, and he's got to get those hands up and throw straight punches. Nice kick there from Halkett.
Favel going forward. Halkett misses with the kick, which allows Favel inside, but Halkett gets him up against the cage.
Nice knee there.
Both fighters exchange knees and decide to break it off.
Oh,
big kick
front
to the
kick
face from Halkett. We'll see if he can finish the fight on that. Favel looks stunned. More kicks to the head coming, and now he's down, and this is all over. Head kicks cause the loss for Travis Favel as he falls to Tyrone Halkett, who gets the first win of his career based on head kicks, Jim.
Yeah, reminiscent of the UFC video game when head kick was the only way to end the fight. And that's a straight kick or front kick or a deke, and he put his heel right into the jaw of Travis Favel. And credit Favel for staggering around there, but another situation where he was out on his feet. Big hit, and again, winning his first amateur fight at just 16 years old. So maybe that little bit of training at the LA Warriors has really paid some dividends for Tyrone Halkett.
Travis Favel falls to 0-4. It'll be interesting to see what he's able to do again. Peyton, Saskatchewan, not the biggest of towns, obviously, which may cause a bit of trouble for Travis Favel, but we'll await the official decision here momentarily.
Brought to you by Boston Pizza. The winner at 2 minutes 52 seconds of the second round by TKO due to referee stoppage via strikes. In the blue corner, Tyrone Halkett.
Tyrone Halkett wins his amateur debut. He'll be with Ryan.
Tyrone will get you here in the center of the cage. Get you looking at the camera there. Heck of a finish for you. He gets in front of this many people and he gets kind of shy. You took one in a place where no one wants to get hit. Seemed like you took full advantage of the time to recover. A fairly solid amateur bout, a nice amateur debut. We'll see you back in the Hard Knocks cage. 16 years old, got a long time to go in the career so far, but I'm sure you got some coaches and sponsors to thank. A man of few words, one more time for the winner, ladies and gentlemen, Tyrone